Hey everyone, I'm Jay, and this video we're going to do our very first lab in Python. We're going to create a file, we put some comments in there, and then we're going to save it. And that's all. We won't do any code yet. We're just going to do the very basics. In this first lab, we'll do some more later, of course. And so I'm using Thonny for this example. Thonny is my preferred beginner-friendly Python IDE as an integrated desktop environment, and it's going to let us do everything we need to do right here. Okay, so let's briefly take a look at what our assignment is. We're going to create a text file. We're actually going to create a Python file using an IDE. File should have a single comment in it, that's your name, and we should save with a .py file extension. Okay, all Python files should be, for our purposes anyway, all the files that we're going to use for some time now are .py file extension. Hopefully you are familiar with file extensions in general, .txts, exes, JPEGs, PNGs, PDFs, that sort of thing, right? Py is just what we use for Python, right? It doesn't have 3 characters, although originally all files should have had 3-character file extensions. That's not strictly enforced, so we have 2-character file extension. And we're going to name the file blank underscore file underscore whatever your last name is .py. So in my case, it will be my last name. So we'll create a new, right here in Thonny, we're going to create a new file, and it just immediately creates a new file. It doesn't name it, doesn't save it anywhere. That's a separate action, right? You're beginning in programming, you're going to learn over time that many things that you might consider one action are actually multiple separate actions. Okay, creating things, saving things, those are 2 different actions. All right, now oftentimes we'll have to break things down into the very basic steps, this being one of them, the first of many. All right, so we've created a file. It basically just saved in RAM right now. It doesn't exist anywhere on my hard drive yet. We're going to save it. I've created a folder, Lab1.1, and I'm going to call it blank file my last name .py. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Save, and there we go. Now I have my file. I can run it. Doesn't do anything yet, okay, but I can run it. I'm going to put a comment in here. In Python, comments are just a hashtag, right? If you're using a different IDE like PyCharm, they actually really want you to put a space after that hashtag. Strictly speaking, it's not required, but I'm going to use a space because my name is not hashtag J, it's J. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save that, and technically I'm done, but I am going to show you a second form of comments. Okay, so this type of comment, if I were to continue on the second line and write some text, it's different color. It is not part of that comment. So this type of comment that begins with a hashtag is one line only. If I want to use a different type of comment, I'm going to use 3 single quotes and then write a long comment here, finish it off with 3 more single quotes. Okay, and this type of comment, those are single quotation marks. They're not left quotes and right quotes. They're single quotes. They're not oftentimes you'll use these in documents as an apostrophe, but please, oh please, in your programs, if you're one of the people who knows how to write left and right curly quotes, do not use those in your programs. That is not the same character. It's something different, and your program will not work the way you want it to. It will probably not work at all. Okay, so the regular quotes, double quotes and single quotes are different. So specifically, I need 3 single quotes for this right here. Okay, that's something that's super important. I know it sounds crazy right now at this stage in the game, but it will make sense later on, I promise you. So 3 single quotes are going to begin, and 3 single quotes also are going to end this comment. And yes, this one is on one line, but if I begin writing it again, more text here, we'll see that this one just begins here and ends here, and actually it doesn't matter how many lines it covers. Okay? It's only limited by the amount of RAM you have, I guess, and how much you can save stuff in your computer. That's pretty much the only limit on that, right? If you had a million line thing, I'm sure we would fill up our RAM eventually, and that would be our limit. Right? We're never going to run into that. Right? Control S is the keyboard shortcut to save. Okay, if I run this, still it does nothing. Okay, I only have some comments here. Comments are a way for us programmers, you and I, to write information into our program that is human readable. It's only for us. The computer will not execute it. We can write whatever we want in here. I can write, my computer is a big stupid head and it won't know. Okay, it's not going to execute it and get mad and start the Terminator revolution on us. It's not going to happen because comments are not read by computers. Okay, so those comments are just for us. The vast majority of times that we use them are to explain parts of our code. Usually at the top of a program, we'll put maybe some copyright information, we'll write some versioning, some dates, dependencies if your code requires some other code in order to run. That kind of stuff will be at the header. The author, stuff like that will be at the top, and then throughout your code, hopefully you're commenting a lot and you're saying, if you're creating functions, you'll say what the function does, dependencies the function might have, and then you'll be describing different parts of your code to yourself, because something that you're going to hear me say all the time, many times, is when you're writing your code, you want to keep in mind and be kind to future you. Okay, in class, you're not really going to come back to your projects very often, but when you get out of class and you're working on some project at whatever job, or if you're doing something self-employed or whatnot, you're going to work on something. 6 months go by, you're going to open up a piece of code that you wrote 6 months or more ago, and you're going to go, what kind of an idiot wrote this? Oh yeah, it was me. I should have wrote better comments because I don't understand what's going on here, and now I have to figure it out all over again so that I can fix, I don't know, one little thing in there. So write good comments for future you, right? Future you will thank you. And future you will say, oh man, I'm so glad I learned about that in that class, right? With that teacher who I forgot his name. He sure was handsome. I jest. Alright, but write good comments, okay? Longer comment here. Okay, and future you will thank past you if you write good comments and you explain your code well enough. Okay, and try to write neat code as well, not just for me as I'm grading you, but also for future you. Again, if your code is readable and easy to understand, future you will have less headaches when future you tries to debug your code, because it will happen. It happens to all of us. You're going to write something, it's going to run, you're like, yay, have a great day. And then 6 months later, you have to change something. Maybe there's not even a bug, you just have to add something. You don't remember how it works because 6 months have gone by and you've worked on a dozen other things since then, and now you have to figure it out all over again. Okay, so don't do that. Be kind to future you and write good comments. So that's our first lab, writing comments, creating a file, saving a file. Right, my file exists right here. When you're turning in your assignments, this is the only file I care about. Those of you who are using PyCharm, PyCharm is going to create an entire project with a folder and a bunch of other files in there. I don't care about those. This is the only one I care about, is the one that you actually wrote. That's it, nothing else. More advanced assignments, we may write multiple files. If you wrote multiple files, those are the ones that I need. Don't care about the ones that PyCharm wrote by itself because I may or may not be using PyCharm when I'm grading. Okay, so here we are, and that's the end of Lab 1.1, creating our first Python file. All right, I know we're all going to do well. Thanks for watching.